Alright, welcome back everyone. As you can see by the title, I am doing, as promised, as I said last night, I said, hey, maybe I'll stream today, maybe I won't. I decided, I'll stream today. Why the hell not? Maybe do a little earlier in the day stream. One that doesn't have to utilize my webcam, my overhead webcam as such. So here I am, doing everything I can. And I'm gonna just be. I mean, this is probably gonna be a short stream, but knowing me, I'll probably find a way to make it longer than it needed to be. But I'm just gonna do. Yep, I'm just gonna do like a little commentary over my stuff over the footage I shot of Sacanime last year in the summer. I plan to go for the winter one because I realized I kind of like the winter one a little bit more. It's less crowded. I want to make it up to the winter. My attempt at shooting the winter one last year, because of as anyone has looked at my channel, it is yeah, it's just there's a it's not there, like it just. It didn't come out. The like the footage was bad. I mean, mind you, I did use old footage. It wasn't fun. I felt bad for anybody who I said like, oh yeah, be my movie, guys, be my movie. Because obviously those people did not get to enjoy looking at anything I made. They had got to see the faintly ghostly images of themselves. But this time, I did a better job of it. Because I bought newer film. Well, all the film I shot with was new, that I got from the Film Photography Project. Not to be a shill or anything, but I do enjoy their work. If you're looking into like getting a hold of some pretty affordable rolls of film, both for like photography or like motion picture film, movie film, the Film Photography Project is, aka the FPP, is very good. I think they're pretty reasonable prices versus like anything like B&H or having to like snipe auctions on eBay. But and they'll even like they'll even transfer it for you too. They do bundles. Just like my sepia tone one, that one was an example of them doing a bundle. Anyways, I shot this and then had it processed. I did process one film that I ruined by accident. I do processing in my bathroom, and then instead of turning on the fan, which I should have had going from the beginning anyways, I turned on the light while the film was uncovered, and I ended up exposing it and ruining it. I could not save it in time. That brief flash ruined all of it. So to anybody on Sunday who I recorded, I'm sorry you did not make it. But anyways, let's get the show on the road. There is music to this thing. I will not be playing it because it is copywritten. So first and foremost, this is on Friday. It was very hot this day. Here's some bronies, some MLP cosplayers. A quick thing I do want to point out. I made it a policy that every time I see MLP cosplayers, I immediately try to like document them, because I want to make sure that people will not forget that they were a fandom that was once huge and made like headlines and everything. And now they're just kind of fallen. I mean, not fallen by the wayside, but they're just like a normal fandom. I think the bronies themselves, the male, what was considered the main male fandom of them, have kind of like moved on, or I don't know. I hear some bad things about it. Anyways, I'll try not to pause this much. This MF Doom cosplayer was pretty cool. I cut that off in time before, because it seemed like he was kind of getting frustrated. One interesting thing about, here's the girl. Here's a Hololive cosplay. When So one thing that I often have like an issue with, I know when I document film or when I shoot, when I asked cosplayers, and you just me just goofing around, cosplayers with if I could like record them for my movie films. There's a Rohan, Bluntman, and Chronic. Is that a lot of them like here I'll pause it. Here's a good example. Tolerated. A lot of them seem to like pose as if it were like for like a photo, and I have to tell them like this is a movie. This is a movie. Just move around, do something cool, like make cool poses. I have to like encourage them. They're like it's this weird awkward thing, and I think a lot of it just comes from the fact that like when you do look at like videos of conventions that people do, it's always like I love this hobgoblin. Also, I had to color correct all this because this is a negative. This was negative color film or color negative, and I can't remember if it was like a little expired or not. I think it was. Oh yeah, this was a little expired, but it was color negative, and I didn't have color correcting filters on, so I had to go in and do a hell of a lot of like color correction on this. You can see there's another Gura. As you can see a little bit behind it, you can see a little bit of like flicker on the screen. That's just from the projector. It took me forever to kind of get the projection right. Um, some of this I feel like is not as clear, and I feel like this is either a thing of the camera or a thing of like my transfer camera. I think it's a little bit of both. There was a Foo Fighters and a Michael versus Jason. So some of this kind of looks a little fuzzy, and I feel like it shouldn't. Um, well, I think that looks pretty good right there. I think some of the fuzziness was more okay. And I followed this couple. I didn't mean to. I wanted to get the crowd, and this couple just happened to walk in front of me. But some of the fuzziness that you see, I think is just like a matter of me messing around with this new camera that I have. It's an electric camera. I can actually see through the lens. It's a reflex viewing camera. Um, and I think sometimes I have it like um, focused, and then I'll look through at the footage. It's like, man, this was this focused at all? And that's the end of the first. Oh no, that wasn't the end. I had to open it a little because I realized that I wasn't sure if I was done with it because I realized that I had disengaged the footage counter on it. So some of this looks pretty soft. I think a lot of the softness might just have to do with either me not focusing. I think it's a combination of me maybe not focusing the camera correctly, or me not focusing the projector and my DSLR that I used to record this, because this looks pretty sharp here. So I don't know. It might be. I think it might be the camera because I haven't really missed much. Oh, that wonderful Dale cosplayer. After I was finished, and that was the end of that first roll. But after I finished recording, it says, "Aku, enjoy the gun," he said. Subaru cosplayer, wonderful. Love to see it. Gur cosplayer, love to see Vader Zim still being held up. A Pepsi Night. And again, this Frieza and not Frieza, this Vegeta and Nappa. I lost my DBZ cred. This wonderful Scorpion cosplayer. This great clown man in all of his multiple plaid stuff. I don't know if it's a reference or anything. There's an Ina. I think Ina's. There's a cool samurai dude. See, here's a good example of a dude who's just doing all these cool poses. See, wonderful Joseph cosplay and his little tequila woman thing. Rouge the Bat. Sonic cosplays are always cool. More. So I have like a really cool long lens on here. Like I have like a 4-inch lens on my camera, and I wanted to get some telephoto shots. Oh, love it! This is great. With the lens flare and everything, it's fun. So I think this one I shot a little better because this one looks a little sharper. And then of course you can't have a man. You have like an Assassin's Creed dude fighting a Dark Soulsman, and there's Sonic in the foreground right there. Goku cosplayer, love it. There's Master Roshi in the background right there. seeing people walk around. Doctor Strange, Lapis Lazuli. I always like to get a hold of some cool Gundams. Always have to get a hold of Steven Universe cosplayers. I always think they're interesting. Bowsette, they were cool. Okay, interesting thing. I think my own wife, my waifu right there. She came with me. So this is still Garfield and Odie. I love this. So I use them as like, okay. Here's an interesting thing. That's my work companion, or by now former work companion, because I'd left a job that he was part of, that I was where I worked with him. That's him as Master Chief. I kept looking for him all day. He said he would. This is an example of somebody who's just like, oh, we're going to the same convention since we're both local, and I'm going to, we're gonna see each other. And I kept looking for him. And just like he was like, by the time my wife and I decided we were gonna go home, he'd finally shown up, and I managed to get a hold of him before, before I left. So that was very lucky. In terms of color correcting, let me go back a little bit. So these two, this Odie and this Garfield. I want to say I keep saying in my head Garfield, but this Odie and this Garfield cosplayer, as well as this Bowsette and Boozette cosplayers. I use them the most for, as well as these Gundam cosplayers, to like accurately gauge how to color correct certain images. So one of the things that is a little difficult is because I'm using a projector, right? I'm using a projector. I'm using a projector and I'm using a little transfer box. The lighting from it that's picked up from the camera is not as flat. Like, I think if I had just done it the old-fashioned way, as I did before with a VHS camera, it would have just captured it and it would have been decent. But with DSLR, I think it picks up more of the nuances of like the lighting. Not to mention because it's like, I have to ask myself, am I focusing on the actual image or am I focusing on the screen? Like, is the because I feel like there is like a weird like little thin, you can kind of see this like kind of like weird little thin layer over it. So it does feel like it's not 100%, but it's a good first attempt, and I feel like my see, they knew how to do it. They knew how to pose, and I love that. So I love that they take the extra time to like do that. And then I think the next part is the black and white portion. Another Bouette and Bowsette. Unfortunately, it was a little overexposed. Marine from Hololive. So this is all in this Wonder Woman cosplayer was very cool. He's a good example of somebody getting in on like, focusing on like actually getting in the character and like doing the cool poses. This cool fisherman guy. It's great. See? This cool weird fisherman. Oh, this nice clown. After I recorded footage of him, I also took a picture with him, which is, I think, something like little kind of like trade off, which is cool. Better Call Saul thing. I always love that. More telephoto footage of folks. IMAX. Again, I wanted to like get a lot of telephoto footage, and there's a bit of a glow in this one. I guess. I think mostly because the camera I was using, a lot of this feels overexposed because the camera I was using specifically has it has less control over exposure. Like if something was too bright, I couldn't bring it down as much. Those were Digimon cosplayers, Angemon and Myotismon. This cool scarecrow. So indoors, all this looks good because, and I'll explain real quick. So the indoor stuff looks great. Oh, by the way, these are Homestead cosplayers. Another example of me trying to preserve a fandom, or thinking I could preserve fandom. Dude in a bunny suit, those were very popular. Umbrella from also The Undertaker. Dick Tracy. I wish this was in color, but I think this is fine. But this dude was dressed up as movie Dick Tracy. This Cammy in her in the like Bison alternate alt costume. Okay, these women here were all dressed up. We're all Pokemon cosplayers. The one in the middle is a cosplayer that I had like encountered and always like whenever I like find her stuff, I always take a moment to like look at it because I think she's cool. But this cosplayer in the middle, as well as the Nurse Joy on the far end, that's her mom. But this cosplayer in the middle, that's Feisty V, and I did not know she was coming to Sacanime. So imagine my surprise, me like shooting or like recording these cosplayers, thinking, "Oh, cool, they were nice," and then like later on realizing, "Wait, I just recorded a cosplayer I've only ever known and seen online, and I was able to record her, like I guess commit her to film or whatever, which was very cool." Katana cosplayer. So one thing that I always I was saying earlier, the reason all this indoor stuff looks not well like better exposed than my outdoor stuff, and there is like some kind of like film damage here, and that's kind of the end of it, unfortunately. There's my name again. Oop. So the reason this stuff looks better than um, why are you doing this to me? Okay, hold on. So the reason this stuff looks better than you're gonna see me futz around with this a little bit, guys. Sorry. The reason it looks better than the outside shots were mostly because I decided that, or not I decided, but the speed, the ISO of the film was always was like 100, maybe 200. I think it was 100, and means it's very fast. It means that it's going to um, it'll it'll be very it'll expose pretty well under low light, but in bright light it's very sensitive. And I did not have any filters to bring them down, and the aperture at which they would the aperture at which they would have more of kind of a mid-tone range, more that where they wouldn't look as overexposed or underexposed, was not small enough. So it was too the lenses I was using were not small enough for the for outdoors, unless I use my big fat lens that I was using it with. But here, let me take a moment to readjust this because for some reason my program decided to be mean to me. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Here we go. So I'm gonna go a little bit slower with this now. I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of go a little bit through it. So I think all the stuff outside looks pretty good except for some obvious bad focusing, which again I have to remember. Like it's just, like, but one of the things that I think is like a problem I have is that I'm trying to work on is when I use my home recording or my home telecine and like transferring um, tools. It's more. It's I have to like really try to focus and make sure that I'm not focusing on the screen. I'm not trying to make sure the screen that it's being projected on is sharp versus making sure the projector is properly is also like focused when it projects it. So there's like two layers of projection, and then after that, it's whether or not the camera, um, if I focus the camera all right. Because I think some of this footage I watch it when I project it and it looks fine, but then when it comes to this, it's bad. So it's something I have to work on. But I honestly, I don't know if I ever get an extra chunk of change that I'm not spending on my D&D books, my D&D like my old school D&D book collection. I'll probably consider getting this getting this professionally transferred probably. So, but for now, this is fine. I want to find this sweet spot where I can kind of shoot stuff. Maybe if it's in black and white, obviously develop it at home, and then just like try to transfer it at home. So this is I love just a variety of the shot. I like how it's all green and like blue and yellow and all. Yeah, I love this. This long line for these hot dogs, which by the way, those hot dogs are good. So again, with this telephoto lens, just kind of want to get this cool. I just wanted to get like a nice. These guys are cool. So I think it's the camera. I think in this case, I might have futzed with the camera too much. Um, but the telephoto shots I like because I do like how it flattens it out. You know, try to get those cool classic street scenes. Chompette again. I don't know what this dude was, but he was cool. A movie you'll never see except in this case. Foo Fighters again. She was cool. People are still walking around wearing masks and unmasked, so it was a interesting time. I think this is a camera in this case, this blurry shot. I hate that like I followed that couple for a second. Like I don't think it was intentional. This big old quartz. I think before it wasn't surrounded by this fence, but like now it is. And obviously, the main reason for it is because I think people were like messing around with it, crawling on top of it. I think during. I wonder if it's only fenced up during. Like if it's fenced up during the entire year, or if it's just during Sacanime. I was worried also that when I had to open it up to make sure that like I didn't run out of film because the camera I was using for this was like not exactly whisper quiet, but like it made me wonder whether or not the motor was louder the than the film being run through it. I had to wonder whether or not like it was if I was going to be able to hear it as soon as it was done. You know. Oh, I didn't notice that Luigi back there. Yeah, that's cool. I think that Luigi is also the same Luigi I took a normal or I took a film photo of. Ah, that Dale cosplayer is great. Um, yeah, this is the second day, or not second day, still the same day because essentially my goal was every day a different film stock. First 2 days would be 16, with the first day being in color. Second day would be in black and white, which is what you saw, and then the third day was going to be in black and white, but on 8 millimeter, and it was going to be glorious. It was going to be good. It's the worst part is that like I knew I could get it. And I thought to myself, I'm going to shoot the third day on 8 millimeter, get it developed, have it come back, and I thought to myself like, what if I were to like record do it at home? I have a new developing tank. I could do it at home. I know I can do it. And it was and the worst part is like I know it was going to come out good. It was going to it was going to come out looking good. And because I opened it or because I had it open when I turned on the light, totally beefed it. I mean, I just it was the worst. Little tank man. I love that shot of this guy. Solaire. That's his name, right? Solaire. I don't know. I'm not a big Dark Soulsman. My wife thought this was hilarious, by the way. This scene where she loves seeing this guy do his like weird rolls. I just kind of also another thing too is like I just love seeing the kind of like cosplayers, the kind of people that are just like cosplaying. See how many of them like either do just commit to the whole like I'm gonna have I'm gonna like have my like hair be accurate or whatever versus like I just want to wear a fun costume. This is I just want to represent. That's what I like to see. The twin fins. I feel like okay. There's these women in the background of this shot of my wife, and it kind of looks like they're watching me. I feel like they're watching me record her. Like it's really weird. There's like this brief shot where I was like recording my wife and she didn't notice it, and then like you can see these two, like these three in the background, kind of look towards my way. I think they're watching. I don't know if they think I'm recording them or if they're watching me record my wife. So again, this made my day. I love these two. These were great. These two were great, and then along with the Pokemon cosplayers, they were great too because they were working the camera, and I like that. Also, like I said before, like it took me forever to kind of reduce the minor flicker. It's just a matter of like, see, it looks good here. You can't even see the flicker on this. Again, another example of somebody who, well, like I asked them like, hey, this is a movie film. Could don't be afraid to like do different poses and move around. That's a good example of someone who did a good job with that. This guy told him like, hey, I'm just gonna record you shooting, just doing your fishing thing. I love how long he kept that straight face before he finally smiled. This clown dude was cool. My wife was very afraid of this man. I'm glad she didn't show up on Saturday to see him. But it was also very hot that day. And again, another example of like the normal taking lens that I was gonna use for that. Specifically, like that looks okay, but like there was this like the lens that was not telephoto. Did not have like a big enough aperture, so it was hard to like not have it look overexposed. And I think in retrospect, I might take one of my other cameras that has more control over like overexposure like this, because it has like a little like you can control the shutter opening a little bit. So, but yeah, so I mean, all the indoor stuff like this looks much better. Dave. Okay, the best part is finding like Homestuck cosplayers who are like teenagers, because realizing like this fandom still popular with like capital K kids. I find it weird. It's like do they never grow up or are all like the fans of Homestuck like these weird kids who just age very slowly. I mean, I don't know what the deal is. It's weird. Like I can't believe like Homestuck is still popular with like kids. Yeah, this is also their reaction to me telling them that like, oh yeah, this is a motion picture film. It's a moving picture. I think they found it very very delightful. So that was fun. Lady D and what's his name? That was good. But yeah, like, and this is coming to the end here. But yeah, it was. I want to do it again. Just following the crowd here. I didn't end it last time where I was going to get killed by Michael Myers. But yeah, it's just I kind of I wish I could have done another one in the winter, but I didn't. So, but I'm hopefully going to do more. I know I have I requested Sacanime off for vacation this year, so I know I know I'm going to do that. I know I'm going to go to that one. Nothing's stopping me, and I will shoot film on that one too. I'm just deciding whether or not I'm going to use the same lenses. I have to double check. Because I know, like I said, the last time if I shoot fast film, I can't. I'm gonna have to make sure my lenses can like close well on like are able to, I'm able to like at least put some filters over it to compensate for how bright the sunlight's gonna be. Because if it was in winter, that wouldn't be a problem. But because it's gonna be in the summer, that is a problem. So, and I beefed it again, didn't I? No, I didn't. Okay. Um. Anyways, well, we've been going for half an hour. I think that's good. I think that's a good place to stop. I might show you a failure I shot. I just have to decide whether or not I can find it. Because I don't think it's in here. I don't think I don't think I bothered to like save it because I know I did transfer it. I just didn't bother to save it. So, yeah, I think I'll. You know, I won't bore you guys with that. Um, and you know, but like, I'm like fumbling over my words, but yeah. So yeah, I guess I want to make more of these. I want to try to use some of these for obviously like animation purposes. The same camera I shot with on the for the color footage, the ones that I know I can do better. Like again, this is like for me like a learning curve. Um, I'm shocked at how good some of this looks like outside, especially considering how much of like this camera that I shot with was not reflex. I know it has a lens that is set that you can set to like having a kind of fixed focus, or what you used to call a universal focus, and it's weird how nice and sharp this is. Like I'm genuinely shocked. I must have been really good at like just keeping my distance, you know. But yeah, I'm shocked at like how good like this footage is, despite the fact that I was like, might have been too close, but I don't know. You know, I'm this camera's like a good luck charm. This though, even though I could look through the lens and be able to like focus it, was not so great. Although I did have like a fixed focus lens. I think these were shot with fixed focus for sure. And I was worried because I know the aperture opening was not as good. I just need to remember which ones were also wide angle. I think this one might have been my wide angle one because my wide angle lens was not great. I don't know. I'd have to remember. It's hard for me to remember which ones I were shot with which lenses are except for the ones that were obviously like telephoto. So, anyways, I guess that's it. Instead of like, I guess going through back and forth through each shot and trying to explain where I went wrong and everything. I think I did a pretty good job explaining the ins and outs and my thought process of like making this stuff. I just pause it on this image here. I think it's gold. I think I'll just keep it as that. But if anyone, whoever came by to watch this and enjoyed it, I'm glad you were able to like get something out of this because I've certainly like to think a lot about it, about this stuff. Especially when I mess up. That leaves leaves a lot of things in my head that like, man, where did I go wrong? How can I do this better again? You know, what? How can I make it up? Like, because my thing is like if it comes out bad, one, it makes me feel bad, and then two, I feel twice as bad for the people who volunteered to like be in this, and then they don't make the cut because the footage was not good. Look at this goofy dude. I love this guy. I love Mechagodzilla. He's my favorite. He has some of the best movies in that series. Anyways, so yeah, I have footage of a ghost bike that I shot. I'm thinking about I need to go back and look and see if it's still, if I can. I need to finish it. I'm surprised that I haven't by now. And I think there's times where just like I remember it, I work on it, then I just stop, and then I go back and I work on it. So I think it's an example of one where I need to keep practicing and trying to get the projection right on it. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I will not stream tomorrow, or I might. No, you know what? I think I'll stream a little bit tomorrow. Specifically, I might start the dungeon crawl thing. You know what? I don't want to. I don't want to like start. Whamming stuff too quickly out here. So you know what? I think tomorrow I will take a break, and then obviously, I will not stream over the weekend. So I'll probably be back on Tuesday, for sure. I think I'll be back on Tuesday. But I don't know. Also, I like to keep things kind of like fast and loose. Keep it. I don't like to make no promises. But I know for sure, whenever I stream next, it will be more AD&D stuff. It'll probably be the beginning of my little dungeon exploration. Because I realized, as I said before, not because I realized, but as I said before on a prior stream, I really like using the dungeon. Like if I'm playing solo, and I have to rely on on oracles and a lot of random chants to kind of create things. I think a random dungeon generator is a fine way to play by yourself. I'm glad that the first edition book has it, but I also found out that the second edition kind of copy pasted the random dungeon generator from first edition in their Dungeon Builder's Guidebook. And that book's not expensive to get a hold of. But I kind of want to try, like I said before, I want to do a delve with that group of 4. And then I do want to try one with one bozo, using the rules from Midnight and Dagger Alley. So we'll see what happens. But for now, this will be the end. This is, for now, we're calling it, or we're saying cut. We're cutting and printing this one. So this one's going in the books. So until next time, I'll see you when I'll see you. So I will see you.